Hello everybody from Plant Reviews. Today is the 22nd of October, and in this video I'm talking about one of the autumnal blooming daffodils I have, and this is Narcissus obsoletus. Actually I have three different forms that I bought from rareplants.co.uk. This one is Palmar Form. This variety comes from Spain, near indeed El Palmar, that if I remember correctly is in the province of Cadiz. This one instead comes from Greece, and it's called Mani Form because it comes from the Mani Peninsula in Peloponnesos in Greece, while this one is called MK6374. These ones come from stock from Turkey. That was collected by Mark Koenig in 1974 in the province of Antalya, in the southwest of the province of Antalya, near Kemer. Back then it was called Narcissus serotinus because this species was first thought a synonym of Narcissus serotinus. However, later investigations found that Narcissus obsoletus and Narcissus serotinus are actually two distinct species, and Narcissus serotinus actually is a very limited distribution area in the Western Mediterranean, while Narcissus obsoletus is a lot more widespread in the Mediterranean. I bought these bulbs from rareplants.co.uk. This was last year. I'm not too sure if any of them bloomed last year. Definitely not all the three of them bloomed last year. However, I'm very happy that this year they decided all the three to bloom, and even better at the same time. So I can show you all of them together, and actually the El Palmar decided to bloom with two flowers, so I am very happy. Narcissus obsoletus is a Narcissus species in the section of the Hermione tazettas. This section includes what I think are the most fragrant daffodils of all, the tazettas, even if obsoletus in particular has a nice fragrance, but maybe because produces only one or two flowers usually, doesn't have the huge fragrance that tazettas can have. I mean, I'm about 1 meter far from the flowers here. They are four open at the same time, and I cannot detect any fragrance on them, unless really I put my nose in the flower. So they are not even able to perfume a room. However, I would say that they are still beautiful little daffodils. If you want daffodil blooming in autumn, if you miss spring so much, well, obsoletus is definitely one of the best, and actually is one of the easiest autumnal blooming narcissi to flower, to bloom. The species come from the Mediterranean area, and is actually distributed in a wide range in the Mediterranean, from Spain to Israel and North Africa. Again, even if the species obsoletus is a species on its own, was previously classified as Narcissus serotinus, and even if now we all know that these two species are distinct, anyway, obsoletus is still in a way classified, is still a very close relative of serotinus, and indeed is classified in the series Serotinae in the section of Hermione tazette daffodils. About the bulbs are, this is a bulbous plant, and the bulbs are pretty small because actually it is a small plant. You can see in comparison with my hand is about 15, well, really between 10 and 15 centimeters tall, sometimes can reach 20-25, but very rarely. Is actually a pretty small daffodil. The leaves are, I would say, they are not similar at all to the Zeta daffodils. They usually have this quite blue-green leaves, strap-shaped, but they are kind of grass-like. They remind me a lot the Jonquilla daffodils, actually, many Jonquilla daffodils, many Jonquilla species, including indeed Narcissus Jonquilla. And in addition to the leaves, also the stem is bright green and actually has photosynthetic activity. Indeed, I think that even when the flower fades, the stem remains green and a bit, I think, like the Narcissus viridiflorum, that is sometimes it doesn't produce any leaf, but still is able to photosynthesize thanks to the flower stem. And Narcissus viridiflorum is another beautiful autumn blooming daffodil. That one is a Jonquilla daffodil, and anyway, I made a video last year, or no, sorry, 2 years ago, and I will put a link in the description as well. About the flowers last, unfortunately, only a few days. They are star-shaped, white, and the corona varies. In El Palmar, it's very bright yellow. I'm sure you can see it. I'm trying to focus, while instead in Mani and in MK6374 tends more to the yellow greenish color. Also, the fragrance is extremely different between this western this Narcissus obsoletus coming from the western area and these two that come from the eastern Mediterranean. This one is very peppermint-like, the fragrance, and a lot more intense than the other two that are. They have a very floral scent, I would say, similar to. It looks like a cross between a lilac and an hyacinth. So it's incredible how these plants that belong to the same species but different forms have a completely different fragrance. If I would have been only able to smell the fragrance, I would have never thought that this one would have been the same species of these other two. These two have a very similar fragrance. As I said, they are kind of in between lilac and hyacinth. Let me see if I can detect any different smell. No, not really. I think these two have a very, very similar fragrance in comparison to this one. Anyway, they are very nicely fragrant flowers. If you are a person that doesn't like very strong fragrances and like to just have a hint, have a sniff of a fragrance when you want, but without really perfuming too much the room or indoors. And I'm talking about indoors because these daffodils, even if might be hardy in the warmest part of the UK, are not really daffodils you can grow all around the UK. I had obsoletus once. I tried to overwinter it in the outdoors. Unfortunately, while it bloomed beautifully in autumn, it died in winter because it didn't sprout out in spring. And I checked the pot, and unfortunately there was nothing left, just the remnants of a rotten bulb. So that was very heartbreaking. I thought I would have, because I live in Kent, it's actually quite a warm area of the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, not warm enough for this daffodil, and I felt very sorry, but I was very lucky to be able to get again the obsoletus from rareplants.co.uk. This is a very nice nursery, I have to say. They have beautiful plants, and I'm always been very satisfied of the plant received by rareplants.co.uk. About the other cultivation features, as usual for all daffodils, they need well-drained soil and full sun, of course. As I said, I don't cultivate them outdoors, however I cultivate them indoors in a south-facing windowsill. These plants are active between autumn and spring, and they go dormant in summer, so really the sun is never too much in the United Kingdom between autumn and spring, and they are perfectly fine. Remember anyway to keep the soil moist between autumn and spring. I need to be very careful because it's easy indoors to forget, really, especially when you cultivate these plants in such small pots. The water tend to evaporate quite quickly. So while it's true that the Narcissi doesn't like waterlogged conditions, it's also true that when they are in active phase and active growth, they really need moist condition in order to support the life of the plant, and of course to ensure a beautiful blooming also for the next year, because in this year the plant will accumulate the energy and will store in the bulb the nutrients for the next year blooming and initial growth as well. Remember, of course, to fertilize it regularly, because these plants, especially being in a pot, and need also a lot of nutrients, not just water, and in turn you will be rewarded by having one of the most unique daffodils in any daffodil collection, an autumn blooming daffodil that is also beautifully fragrant. Again, it's not very powerful, the fragrance, but definitely gorgeous. I absolutely love it. About the ease of finding the species, really is not a plant that it is very easy to find. You will not find it in garden centers very easily. The best way to find it, of course, is on online bulb shop specialist. This is quite a rare daffodil anyway. However, if you live in the United Kingdom, usually rareplants.co.uk have this plant in stock. I always recommend to obviously book rare species in advance. Usually autumn planting bulbs list are ready in the spring preceding the autumn, so usually around March, April, I always have a look at the plant nursery to see if the list is available. Otherwise, you of course can arrange with the owner of the specialist bulb shop to have a call or an email when they publish the list, so you will be able to see it as soon as it is published. As usual, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you like this video, it would be great if you please give a thumbs up, and of course, if you like this video and the other videos on my channel, it would be great if you can please subscribe. It is completely free for you. But in this way you support me and my YouTube channel, and I can make even more videos. Of course, if you have any questions or would you like me to make a video about any particular plant, please let me know. And if I have the plant, obviously I will be very keen to to make a video for you. And of course, if it is a very interesting plant I didn't know, who knows, I might buy it and see how it is, and hopefully cultivate it successfully. As usual, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.